Oh, look at who we have here.
Ah, he got the jacket on tonight.
He got the champion jacket on.
2 points is 2 points, baby.
You smoking a cigar?
2 points is 2 points, baby.
Oh, oh. Just when I thought you could take it up to another higher level. Here you go. Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. Is yours truly Puma with Ice Water, the March Madness champion. I have to say that for legal reasons. And Black Thor, who was the runner-up, who claimed he didn't watch any basketball, but kicked me and Pops behind in the picks, and he came in runner-up. We'll give you the scores a little bit later. But we want to introduce to you from our podcast. We used to do a segment called We Can't Make This Shit Up. And I haven't heard Black, a lot of people talking about this particular story. And I started to hear it online. Well, Paul Pierce gets fired by ESPN behind a live show on Instagram where he had the strippers, or my buddy Ed would say in Detroit, the scrippers out there online, shaking booty, doing all kind of naughty stuff. And I can't believe that he thought he could get away with this and still be on ESPN. But your thoughts about this story, man?
It's I just when I saw it, I just started laughing, man. Because it's like, I mean, it's like I don't know if he's trying to sabotage himself. I think he's elected to go to the Hall of Fame. He might be one of the Hall of Fame.
Ooh, he ain't in yet. Know. That's right.
Yes. And I'm like, to me, I know back in the day when I hang out with characters or hang out with people, whatever the case may be, there might be a time you got to go get your boy. You know what I mean? It's like, you go get your boy. And it's like, no one said to him, don't go on Instagram, bro. You could tell he was feeling good. He was rolling. And it's like, no one said, even he didn't even think, I'm on Instagram. And you can't, in this day and world, you can't.
Well, he saw Monica on Instagram, so he had to know he was on Instagram. Yeah, Monica, yes. Come on, make some money.
That's just how zooted he was. And you're right. It's like, now you expect after that ESPN to say, you know what, yeah, come on. And I don't think it was doing good at ESPN anyway, but they expect to say, yeah, come on, man. That big butt behind you ain't worried about that. Nobody talking about that. You're all right. And it's just, you look at this and it's not the same thing. But look at Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. These younger cats got to start making, and we all make mistakes, don't get me wrong, but with a lot of responsibility thrown your way, you can't act like you don't have any, man. People look at you and go, you know what? You just being a boy. You can't, bro. And it's like they just make these decisions with all this money at their disposal, and you go, what is wrong with you? Now, my thing is with Paul Pierce, okay, you could say you kept your money, you did whatever your money for. But Paul Pierce always been kind of a knuckle. Let's not forget, he got stabbed in New York years ago. Not New York, Boston.
Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we kind of forget that. So he's always been kind of a knucklehead in a sense. And I just don't know, because to me, as you saw, who coming to hire you other than an adult Cam? Who coming to hire you, baby? I mean, realistic, who? He should take the job. Take the job, really. I mean, I'll be honest with you, take the job.
Wow. I sent you guys the clip of a penitentiary was seldom seen. And this is the attitude I have with this particular action that he kind of displayed. If you go into a gentleman's club or you having all this fun, don't send me any videos. Don't tell me when you're leaving. Don't tell me when you're coming back. Don't give me no funky draws to sniff. If I can't have it all and be there, I don't want to see nothing. Ice Water.
I'm with you on that. I mean, it's kind of like some people enjoy reading magazines. I need to see it in the flesh anyway. Some people like that. But for Paul Pierce, what I don't know, I do understand it. I'm sorry. I know people that have done some things that really just don't make sense. And truthfully, when you look at it, I don't think he cared. I think he must have been tired of ESPN. Something wasn't right. I think he got tired of being good because the way he did it, you can't tell me he didn't. Okay. Anyway, as y'all can see, look, I've been zooted once and twice in my life. But to make the point is, you have to know, he had to know what was going on. And people like, well, he was out of his mind. He really didn't know. Why would you wait? Why would you, risk all of that? I mean, I get that, but dude, he knew. When you hit that button and you on Instagram with all them beautiful women back there, and you've been on TV, particularly with ESPN, that's a job a lot of guys want, right? They want a lot of NBA players, a lot of people want that job. And for you to get it and now just to kind of throw it away, nah, I'm not buying the point. He slipped up. He might have, but he knew, man. You've been on that show for how long? You've been doing it. You've been out there. You've been good. Maybe he just got tired of being good because there's no way in hell you're going to tell me he literally believed that he could get that off and then go back to work. Because ESPN looking like, this Disney too? Oh, hell no. You can't be doing that stuff. We got Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just that point where
they have strippers and Mickey
Mouse. Right. And the way he did it, and then he got something rolled up too. He fired up too.
Yeah, he fired up. That got me. I'm like, dude.
Nah, dude. At that point, I was like, he has made a decision. I'm tired of this BS. Something must have happened, whatever. He got frustrated. His money wasn't right. And he just said, hell with it. Damn it, F it. I'm going out. But I'm going out guns blazing. I do like that. He went out guns blazing. If you're going to go out with guns blazing. You got the honeys behind you. You can firing up. And he went out like he wanted to go. And then at that point, he knew it was over. And there's no way in hell. Because other people were saying they don't think he deserved to be fired. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. There's no way.
You got Barnes and Jackson who have the Up and Smoke podcast.
Right.
So but maybe he thought he could get away with that too. I don't know.
Dude, come on, Puma. Look,
I don't know. I ain't justifying it.
Puma, I'm going to say this. With my boy Barnes and Jackson, they let you know out the box. When they came on there, we smoking.
Yeah.
That's what we don't do. Everybody, look, don't trip like Snoop Dogg. When he's on camera, it's like when David Chappelle went to Saturday Night Live. They knew he was smoking cigarettes live, and you got a problem with that, I ain't coming. They knew what them guys were doing. They let you know from the beginning. Paul Pierce, on the other hand, if you choose to do a certain thing and you want to live a certain way and you want to be upstanding in the community, you can't do that. We all know that, especially if you grew up anywhere near a place where around the neighborhood or somewhere where you guys had a good time. It's like barbershop talk. You keep that to yourself. Why would you risk millions of dollars trying to prove somebody that you cool? Mm-hmm. It don't matter. If I'm cool at 12:30 at night, you don't have to see it. I'm getting my money. You might think I'm corny as hell, and I'll be that, but I'm still getting paid. Now, you see me at 2:15 in the morning when I got my escapade of things happening around, that's a whole different world. Why risk it, man? I don't get that. I promise.
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
Because when you at a level of intoxication, bro, your mind ain't right.
No.
But you want that attention, and he was trying to front. Yeah. He was literally trying to front. So he forgot about everything else. He was that high. And I don't understand this is what I don't understand, because I know what's name said this one time. I can't think of his name. I'm gonna get his name because we're gonna talk about a little bit something similar to this on the show coming weekend. But the cat, I'm gonna get his name because he played in San Antonio, but he was on a news show, a show on ESPN. He was interviewing, and the cat said, "Yeah, I had women all over the place, man. I had women all." He said, "I would show up to a town, I would go." And he said, "Well, he said, these women that you just basically on your phone." He said, "Nah, man, I'll show up to a town, I'll go to a strip joint, and I'll find a woman, I'll bring her back, I give her." That's like, bro, that's not your woman. Mm-mm. That's not. If you're paying for her, she's not your woman. So my point is, if you can't, this is just me. If you can't get the ordinary woman to dress like that and be behind, you got to pay that to have, bro. You in your head, you're fronting. He was fronting, act like anybody with money can get strippers to stand behind him and act like you important. So you get this in your head. You need all this to make you seem like you're down with everything else. He just got caught out. I guarantee you, when he woke up and his phone was blowing up from his agent, He wasn't thinking, nah, I'm going out gun blazing, bro. He wasn't thinking that because here again, what sports show is going to hire you now? Name it. I mean, what? Because you're a clown. What sports show? I don't care. Hopefully he has his money. They say he may have. But from a sports perspective, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
Like you said, people want that job, bro. I mean, I'm not a big fan of ESPN, but people want that job. Where are you going? Overpaid booty behind you and getting high? Yeah. Your biggest mistake is putting that thing online. You can do whatever you want to do, show up and work in the morning. You got your teeth clean, you smell good. Nobody questioned what you did last night. No one. But when you put it out there for everybody to see it, you tarnish your reputation, you tarnish your character. That's the word. He tarnished his character. Whatever character people thought about him, how are you gonna sit in front of somebody now and his agent gonna try to sell him to somebody? Well, that was just one mistake. Now we got a younger cat over here that basically is clean, upstanding. We're gonna go with him for less money. And that's the point, bro. And I don't think he understands that, but he will at some point. Because Paul Pierce, to me, think he's better and bigger than what he was.
Yeah.
And bro, to me, I don't think his career was nothing special. Just my personal opinion. I just don't. Until Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen got there. But in his head, he thinks he's on a level just beneath LeBron.
Yeah. As Draymond Green said to him a few years ago, they don't love you like that. And so now he's going to figure that out. Maybe he'll go into strip clubs.
Or maybe
franchise him.
I think the Big Three might have an opening as well for the broadcast.
Hey, if you want to come on this show, explain yourself, bro. Come on, explain yourself. Bring Monica with you so she can make some money. Anyway, let's go to our hot topics. Hubert Davis gets the Carolina job, Ice, and Posner gets the Oklahoma job. Drew Valentine, which I'm happy for him, Denzel Valentine's brother from Chicago Bulls, steps right into the Loyola job. And Sean Miller, we've been waiting for this for a few years now. Sean Miller finally gets fired by Arizona. I'm wondering what they're going to do with that Kansas coach that got in some violations. But Ice, what are your thoughts on some of these coaching changes in NCAA basketball?
I'm going to stick right with Kansas. What they going to do with Kansas? Nothing. They just gave him a lifetime. That's what they did. That's how they rewarded him. With all of the allegations and infractions, the FBI coming, picking through the windows and all of the stuff. You know what they got him? With him winning games, they got him a lifetime contract. That's how crazy it is. I'm serious. Think about that. He has a lifetime contract because they don't want nobody else to get him. So that's what that happened there. Anyway, but moving on, looking at Oklahoma and Loyola Posner moving over there, great move for him, replacing Lon Kruger. And I think it was time. He probably has done all he can at Loyola Chicago, right? So when you have an opportunity to make that next step, why not do it? I think that's great. Great for the Valentine to take over there. Very young coach, 29 years old. Amazing. That's a great opportunity. I hope he just can kind of put it all together. And then, too, when you look at, what's the other one that you said was the last one that you said was?
Hubert Davis gets the Carolina job. He was there for 9 years as assistant coach.
Yeah, which was made sense for Carolina. But, wait a minute.
I heard the press conference.
Hubert.
Yeah.
Hubert, bruh.
More press conferences for you.
Bruh, why is it necessary? I mean, they just told you that about being an African-American coach. And there's many African-American coaches that have struggled to reach that plateau and get particularly that Carolina job. And instead of accepting it and saying, yeah, I'm proud to be an African-American man. I'm glad to have this. And I'm going to move forward and represent this opportunity like nobody else has to show people that certain individuals are worthy of this type of opportunity. And then you throw in, and I'm glad my wife is white. I'm like, dog, that's cool if you think that.
He said that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he said, I'm glad my wife is white and we have our kids the way that they are. And I'm saying to myself going, if that's cool, because I have mixed marriages in my family, right? And I don't have a problem with that. But with it being, why does it have to be one of the biggest and most significant things that you said? When we know what's going on, my question to you though is, when they fire you because you're a black man, because they don't like what you're doing, is your wife, because she's white, going to be able to help you keep that job? I'm just keeping it 100. And it's not, I mean, love who you love, But at that press conference, why is it necessary? And it's your press conference, but why just throw shade on your people? I mean, I ain't mad. Don't get me wrong. You love who you love, but why? I just don't. If you wanted to say, I love my wife, thank her for her support, whatever, there's another time for that. But like, again, that's your job. Good luck with that, because don't get in trouble, bro. Ask OJ, ask other people that try to run back home. You just got to be careful, bro, because, when you get in trouble, then you always got to come on to the Baptist church and all kind of other places, down to the barbecue pit, wherever you got to go to the barbershop looking for.
Oh, he can't go to barbecues right
now. Right. Look, because don't nobody want you. Don't nobody want to mess with you more on the other side. I'm just giving it 100. I know y'all think I'm drinking, but I'm gonna raise my eyes up a little bit. But it's just the whole premise of it is, be careful, man. Be careful. I'm glad you love your wife, but I just thought it was just a different. He could have said that at a different time.
Yeah, that's strike one. You only get 3 at Carolina. That's a big strike one. On the day you accepted that position, strike one. And that's going to follow you for a long time. And that's probably, if you don't succeed, that's going to be one of the reasons why they get you out of there. Black, Hubert Davis takes the job. Posner takes the Oklahoma job. Valentine takes the Loyola job. And Sean Miller gets fired finally from Arizona.
You and I talked a few days ago before they hired Hubert Davis.
Yeah.
And you said to me, hope they hire Hubert Davis.
Yep.
And I said to you then, I don't know. And I didn't realize he was this. I said, is this the same cat that played for the New York Knicks?
Yeah, and I said, let that go.
I can't even. I'm when you said that, I'm sitting there going, he can't be that stupid. He just cannot.
Apparently so.
He cannot be that stupid, because I'm sure there's a part of the population that goes to North Carolina are sisters. I'm just saying.
Well, root for North Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you just turned off so many, and basically put a target chest on you that you don't need being a first-time coach. You just don't need. I'll respect him more if he'd have took the stand and said nothing about black, white, nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm just happy to have this job. I want to thank him for giving me an opportunity. But for me, when he points it out like that, he's defending his choice of a white woman. Mm-hmm. That's not saying he's honoring her. He's defending her because something must be going on, has been going on with him, which says to me, this brother head's not in the right place to coach that university. And I wish him well. Mm-hmm. I do. I wish him well. But like you said, that's a strike. And as soon as you're not doing well, and don't get me wrong, bro, you need some black players to come to North Carolina. That's not in North Carolina. You're going to need some. And guess what? When you go to their homes to recruit them.
And their black mamas.
You follow. It's like, bring your wife white with you. Please bring her when you go. So she can sit with you. Because you just really, you kind of took some arteries that's going to your heart and you squeezed them tight. You may never realize it. And saying that statement, you squeezed it. Wow, bro. I just, like I said, I hope he can coach, because you're going to have to coach better than Dean Smith to get out of that, bro. I'm just telling you right now. He's got to be able to coach better than Dean Smith, because I don't see the recruits running to him. And when he starts not to play well, the noise is going to be so loud for him. Good luck, bro. Good luck. I'm with Ice with Kansas, man. I mean, what does Bill Self got to do, bro? What's he got to do? I was driving, and then came across the radio. I said, what? A lifetime? They didn't even give him a year. He could be coaching to 80, bro. A lifetime contract. Who gets that? Lifetime.
Yeah, Brian.
Has they won like just 10 championships that I missed, or something in a row that I missed? I'm sorry. It's like a lifetime, bro. I don't know. I mean, that one, I like the Oklahoma hire. I was a little surprised that their head coach kind of stepped down, especially as a team, bro. I kind of surprised he got out of the way right now. But I think for the move that gentleman made to go there, real good move. Don't know too much about the guy that's replacing him. But one thing you didn't talk about that was interesting, and I said this. I think this. He didn't move. I think he's going to kind of get terminated. The cat that left Texas with the Marquette.
Shaka Smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he works out there well, bro, because it doesn't seem like players want to recruit and play for whatever reason. He don't get the dogs to play with him, man. And at least he didn't get him in Texas. So maybe get him at Marquette, because if you don't get him at Marquette, he's in trouble, bro. He's making some money, but they wasted no time. And I think Texas did him a favor, because I'm telling you, just my honest opinion, bro. You lost to that team that's in Texas, 1 point in the tournament. You got to get him out of here. They're going to get you out of here, bro. They're ready to get him out of there. Trust me. He was coming out of there. So it's good that Marquette, how the deal came down, I'm happy that he got out of there, because his days were not going to be long there, man, at all.
Yeah, I think he'll do well in recruiting. He's from the area. He's from that area. I think he'll do well in recruiting. I even think I think I talked to you and Ice about this earlier. I think he'll even be able to recruit. And I think we talked about it last week, Ice. He will be able to recruit in Chicago too, which is a hard sell. But I think he will be, just by his name alone and what he's been able to do. But Texas is not a basketball school. I don't care how many championships basketball you win in Texas. It's always going to be a football state, football school. So maybe he jumped out before the fire got really, really, really hot. Let's talk.
Can I throw one thing in there?
Sure.
You mentioned about Bill Self and him getting that lifetime contract. Maybe I'm gonna be a conspiracy theorist at this point. But perhaps knowing that Carolina needed a coach,
they wanted to wrap him up.
They wanted to wrap him up because you didn't want to see Bill Self over in Carolina, which is a hell of a job. So maybe they just said, you know what, hey Bill, you can do no wrong over here, buddy. Come over and get this lifetime joint. So whatever happens, we're gonna pay you out and you good. But because imagine him going to North Carolina. I mean, you think about it. That's where kind of all started. Dean Smith. A lot of people been over there between the two programs, have shared coaches, and they have a great history between the two of them. So they probably just locked him down and said, we'll deal with it as we move forward. And last but not least, as I say this, is I thought Sean Miller was already fired.
His brother was fired.
Right. But I just put them all together. I was like,
I did too, man. I did. I thought he was fired. I did.
Oh, his brother was. His brother was at Indiana. They got rid of him real quick at Indiana.
I did. I said, they fired him again?
Fired him for being fired. All right. Also, on a quick note, Mick Cronin got a 2-year extension. So I know you're happy with that with UCLA. I think he deserved it.
That's all they gave him.
2 years. They kind of giving him a little leash, but yeah, you did good, son. You did good. We're going to give you a 2-year leash. All right. Let's talk about March Madness and recap that. The final standings in the Goon Squad March Madness tournament, if you will. I came in last with 41 points. Illinois, you messed my whole bracket up. And a few other teams messed my whole bracket up. Pop came in third with 55 points. Black Thor is runner-up to the champion with 10 points. And he's happy he beat me and Pop. So he feels like a champion anyway. Give him his flowers and salute him. Icewater is the champion. Check out our overtime where he talks about being champion and while he drinks his drink and smokes his cigar and wearing his smoking jacket. And I got to send you an Escott to go with that Muhammad Ali champion jacket. 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. Let's talk about the tournament, Ice, and the Final Four and the final games. Give me your eye test.
Well, like we said, the eye test was trying to find out, was any team going to be good enough to defeat Gonzaga, right? Because they were rolling along. I was surprised because I was thinking like, wow, maybe Michigan. I thought Michigan was going to be able to match up with them, but Michigan got beat by USC. USC had done as much as they could. They were talented, but they were not organized enough to roll with that. And when that did not happen, watching UCLA versus Gonzaga, it was like, wow, okay. And I said, well, if UCLA can try to control tempo, which they did for a lot, I thought they could push you through, but they just fell a little short. And that was an incredible shot. It's probably one of the greatest shots ever. I mean, you won't see that shot for 45 years. We may not be here, but they're gonna be showing that shot over and over because it was an amazing shot, and Gonzaga was ready to go. And they were like, well, now we're ready to move forward. But just that alone, and again, that undefeated season kept popping up. And I'm like, it's a lot of pressure trying to win that final game. And then you watch Baylor. Baylor was in control. Baylor's been in control probably their last 5 games, literally, when you think about it. They were pushed a little bit, but they took all their opponents down. The way they made Houston quit. We talked about Arkansas, Villanova, okay, teams like that, and the way they just kind of handled Wisconsin. It was like, okay, we're getting ready for this. And to watch that game against UCLA and Gonzaga, I think they saw the chink in the arm. They're like, okay, we don't know if they're going to be ready, but we're going directly at Gonzaga. And just overall, hell of a tournament, a lot of upsets. I was a little frustrated because the time I was like, man, I've lost too many games. Because overall, Black Thor had more games correct. But the points count in the end. And the fact that I had 2 Final Four teams helped a lot. I just believed in Baylor, and then just not thinking that Gonzaga was going to make it through, because that's a lot. You think about it. I remember Larry Bird and Indiana State
They were
being
undefeated. Yeah.
defeated and lost to the great Magic Johnson team, which was a dynamite team, and so many other teams. That's a lot of pressure. Like, oh no, they can handle it. I was like, you say that, but come Monday, when the lights come on and things not going their way, you could just see it. But kudos to them. I thought it was a great tournament. Please, I know I would talk to the NCAA and say I would beg them to go, hey, don't change a thing. Go back, even though despite we get through this pandemic, what have you, let's go 4 or 5 straight days of games, bro. Don't change that format. I'm telling you, right now, if you can get that, keep going like that, well, we get Tuesday, Monday games at 12:15, 12:30. Come on. That was amazing. I know they made a lot of damn money. That's all I know. A lot of money, and it was a great tournament. And what can you say? So kudos to them. I enjoyed every moment of it. It was cool to win, but I was just excited. It's not often I watch a lot of basketball like that. But even when my bracket was kind of, I thought, going to hell, I could not turn away. I was walking and I had my phone. I was streaming games. I'm like, oh, Ohio's on. Oh, Virginia's on. I couldn't turn it off. It was like crack, man. Anyway, I never did that. But anyway.
Black, I thoroughly enjoyed this tournament, even though my brackets were all busted up. And as I said, I couldn't turn away from it. I had to be in front of the television. I had to go back and watch games because the play was so good. And the last game, even to the last game, even though it was kind of like a blowout, Baylor just muscle balled Gonzaga to where you could tell which team spent a lot of time in the weight room and which team just was kind of just finesse. And Baylor, I think we all wrote them off saying that they couldn't make it, and they just proved us wrong, that they were the #1 team in the country this year.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. They sealed it on Monday night. I got to double down on what I said about the way they play 4 or 5 days. I love it, man. I love it. I love playing it Monday, Tuesday nights. I would say I would change one thing if they could. They should have more of a break. And I know they want to. I'm like when they play the Final Four and the two teams are determined on Saturday night. Give the teams a little more rest in between instead of just that Sunday and play again Monday. I don't know how they would do it, but even if they moved it Tuesday, Wednesday, or something, give them a little more downtime to kind of recoup just a little bit, because that's a lot to go from the Final Four right into that game. But I tell you, man, this tournament actually made me look at the NBA, bro, because it was so, even though you had the lower seeds, these cats can play, man. And you look at some of these schools that are basically lower seeds, they came in, and you realize the hard work they put involved, how the coaches, the work that they're doing, and these players aren't making a dime, man. They're playing off true grit for the love of the game and to be out there, and they all want to win a championship. They do, man. They cry when it's over. They hurt. And it's amazing how, when I look at the NBA, how the money has basically poisoned that. I get mine, I get my contract, and it's basically hurt the game of the NBA. Because I think I said to you earlier, after watching the tournament, especially the Final Four, it's hard now to watch the NBA, bro. I was watching Phoenix, Utah last night. I'm like, what is this? Hill House against Bassett? I'm serious, man. I mean, they run up and down the court. There's no play calls. Nobody moves. You go stand here and wait. If I throw you the ball, I thought I'm just going to shoot it. It's just there's no dynamic or flow to the game. So I tip my hat to these young men of that playing college basketball because they're taking it serious. They're learning the game. They're allowing themselves to be coached. And you saw that throughout the tournament. I'm gonna even though Baylor won, I'm gonna basically crown UCLA, man, because to come from where they came and to run through that tournament and to lose in a shot like that, that's amazing, bro. That is utterly amazing. And if it went to another overtime, they may have won that game. It's a possibility. I think if they did, I'm not sure if they would have beat Baylor, but they would have played Baylor well, man. Something about that team, inside grit, what they have in those players, man, where they just kind of basically know what they're capable of, and they never was out of a game mentally. They just played to the last second to the horn. I love that about them. So even though Baylor won, man, I'm going to crown UCLA, man, because what they accomplished and what they did to me is what the tournament is all about.
Yeah, a buddy of mine told me the same thing you told me earlier on, and we'll put in our overtime about watching the NBA after the NCAA tournament. And he was like, I get it now. I get it. And because he was asking, he said, what you watching? I said, I'm watching baseball. He's like, you're not watching the NBA? I was like, nah, I want to watch a little bit of baseball because I'll get to NBA. You know, there's some games I will watch because of the show, but I'll get to the NBA when it's close to money time when they're getting in the playoffs. But baseball right now has my attention. But congratulations to all the teams that played in the tournament. You put on one hell of a show. Kudos. Please keep this format with the 4 games straight. I don't know if they'll give the extra day because I know in high school basketball, they don't get a day. They play either that later that night for the championship, and whoever wins, wins. So college is given the luxury of having Sunday off and then playing Monday. Get your Gatorade and all your carbs in and get ready to play Monday night. It would be nice if they kind of waited a couple of days, but I don't know if people would stay in tune to it, or if they do it a week later, people would kind of lose it. Just like the Super Bowl, I hate it when they have the 2-week break. There's 1 week, put them back on the field. Let's handle it. Congratulations to Luka Garza and Paige Beckers, who won the Wooden Award, well deserved. UConn could not pull it off in their Final Four, and South Carolina lost by 1 point. And I was really pulling for Arizona, but Stanford really kind of put their foot in Arizona's neck and just said, you know what? We don't care what you try to do, Black. We're going to take this championship.
I just got to say this, man. I know she's a married woman, but I'm in love, bro.
With Arizona's coach?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, bro.
I see why we related.
Yes, bro. I'm just top to bottom, the way she handled things, where she just, it's just, how do you not just basically want to just watch her all day?
So let me get this straight. Candace Parker, you off her now?
No.
You can't have them all, Black. You can't.
No, you're right. I'm always admired Candace Parker.
Okay.
I'm always going to admire from afar. I mean, Candace is one of those women that you just follow from a distance. You don't really.
You can never have.
You don't walk up and say nothing to her. But this coach of Arizona, bro, that right there, that woman, what she's put together, her character, the way she motivates them, her basically saying, I ain't apologizing for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's me between me and my team. You saw it, so what? Bro, that's what I'm talking about. That right there, and to get her team there, to take down UConn, to get her team there, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't even talk about the physical exterior yet. I can go there, but we'll save that for maybe, when we're not on the show.
Don't pull a Paul Pierce.
Yes.
Ice Water, the women's champion, the Cardinals of Stanford.
Yeah, you got to think about it. Stanford played great basketball all year. They have a great coach in Tara Vanderveer. She's been around a long time, man, and she really has come with it. And everybody was looking at the Arizonas. Everybody was looking at South Carolina. Everybody was looking at Connecticut. But the way that team played with Stanford, they played well together. They took on all comers, and they were just sitting there waiting for the opportunity. And I know some people don't believe in karma, but Yeah, I think that UConn loss was karma, baby.
Probably.
Just saying. So you get caught up in that, and if you say you're the champions and you just go ahead and win the game, and you make people be quiet, but to lose the game the way that they did, it's like okay. But Stanford, man, the Cardinal, bro, they just woo.
And Haley Jones, it was too much Haley Jones for Arizona. Too
Mm-hmm.
much Haley Jones. She got into foul trouble in the first half and then just went lights out in the second half. So she got the player of the game. So kudos to her.
Yeah, Stanford though, they had that ability where they are so confident, right? The way that their coach lets them play, you could just tell that they were ready to win that game. And I like them because I've been watching them. I had a chance a couple years ago when I was covering Ohio State women's basketball, watched them play a couple times in person, and they were real young back then. But then you could just tell she keeps stockpiling those players, and they get a little older. And here they are. They won the national championship.
Yeah, it was a good game, and I was rooting for Arizona. I was rooting for South Carolina. I kind of was thought UConn was a little bit too young, and they kind of got away with one with Baylor. Baylor should have been in there, but the right team won. The best team won, and kudos to the women's college champion. Let's go to the NBA, Blacker. You just said, hey, I ain't paying attention to the NBA. I'm watching college, but give me your eye test, bro, of what you have been seeing.
Yeah, bro. It's bad basketball, bro. I mean, I caught a little bit of the Brooklyn Nets last night, and when they all get healthy, they're gonna be a tough team. Even their bench is playing well. They're gonna be a tough team to kind of put down and take on. I did see Milwaukee play a little bit. I'm just not impressed with Milwaukee, man. They remind me of Peyton Manning in the sense they're a good regular season team. You don't know what you're gonna get in the playoffs, bro. And I just see that coming for them. It's amazing to me when you look at the West and you got Phoenix. I mean, I know we wanted to kind of root for them, but Mark Jackson, be quiet, man. They're not winning no championship this year, bro. They're not. They're not. And Utah's not winning either. They're all fakers to me, bro. They're big time fakers. I watch them play and I just don't see it. They're not ready. They're not close to being. I don't care what their record says. And it's sad in a sense because they're going to since probably get knocked out in the first or second round. Um, Golden State, I think they have to kind of start to realize that they've done some disservice to themselves. And I know Curry wants them to kind of win right now. Bro, you can't win it every year. And I don't think the team has done a good job of putting a good fuse of young talent in. And I think he'll need to understand that. You got to allow them to play and grow, bro. But they maybe not can grow. But you got to stop acting like, it's 5-6 years ago and yelling and screaming at them, bro. Because that's not going to get them to play any better. Lead them by example. Lead by teaching them. Don't lead by scolding them in the media and the press. Man, I don't like when he does that, man. You're better than that, Curry. Don't do that.
All right, Ice, give me your eye test of the NBA, man.
Well, I've been watching a lot of NCAA basketball, but I have been peeking over at the NBA. But again, love or hate Brooklyn if you want to. I'm gonna just tell you this. Last night they scored 139 points. No Harden, limited Durant. You had Griffin, Aldridge, Irving. 139, bruh. That's crazy. Man, I'm telling you. I mean, no, we talk about defense, but to be able to do that, they're gonna, as Black Thor mentioned, they're gonna be a tough out because they have that ability to score. And if they ever decide they want to play defense, like a couple of them can, like Griffin is playing a little bit tougher, Aldridge is playing out of his mind. Those guys want to win championships, so it'll be interesting to see how they do that. They're first in the East. When you look over to second, look all the rest of them, you just kind of shake your head and you go, I want to see what's going to happen 7, 8, 9. Boston's 7, right? Knicks are at 8, and Indiana is 9. I want to see how that plays out as well. In the West, you still have Utah and Phoenix 1, 2. But what I'm really watching, and I want to see how this plays out, the Lakers have been falling backwards, slipping down. I know when they get everybody back, it's probably going to change. But I would love to see that 4-5 matchup of Denver versus the Lakers.
That would be a nice matchup.
I would love to see that because everybody was on the Clippers and dogging the Clippers how they got beat last year. I wanted to see Denver versus the Lakers in the first round. I would love to see that. We'll see if the Lakers are really ready to repeat, and then we'll see how Denver and far they have come. A couple other things I want to point out real quickly is a couple of players that I just thought have been playing pretty well the last week or so. one of my favorite players, just because of his pure grit, is Kelly Olynyk. I love that dude, man. He got a lot of dog in him. He's over in Houston. In the last 7 games, he's averaged 17 points, 8 rebounds. Dude is if you, like I said, if you want to win the championship, you want to pick that dude up just because he's so tough, mentally tough, and he's not afraid, and he's a hard worker. Somebody else I'm gonna throw out there too is I usually dog him, but I'm gonna give him love, especially when they dogged him about the championship thing. Westbrook, man. So you dog Westbrook, talk about he doesn't want the championship, he doesn't care, he's a knucklehead. But that knucklehead is averaging, what's it like 24? He had like 23, 14, and 15. Dude is just nasty, man. He that triple double. And like he said, he's good where he is. If he don't want to win a championship and he want to be the man, what's wrong with that? I mean, let him go. Dude was averaging, I think, 21, 10, and 10. If he just want to be the man and they don't win, but he's still taking care of his business, I don't have a problem. But at least he's honest. He's not ring chasing. And he don't care what you think. He's just making his money, taking care of his people, and having triple doubles. You got to enjoy that. You got to love it. You got to respect that from that standpoint. But I don't know. We're going to see what happens. But I had to give him kudos just because of that factor that so many times I've been saying not pleasant things about him, but you got to admire his effort in the way he plays basketball.
All right. I know the Lakers are like 4-6 in the last 10. Black, I wanted to throw this question to you first. I was watching the game last night with, I believe, Brooklyn and the Pelicans last night, and Van Gundy on the bench. Looked like he was watching the game. He wasn't coaching at all. When do you think the Pelicans are going to pull the plug on Van Gundy? Because I think the experiment is over in New Orleans with him as head coach.
It won't be for another year, bro. Because if you pull the plug this soon for the general manager, it shows you know what you're doing. We all knew that was a bad hire. We just knew. I mean, they played good for a stretch, but he's not the guy to come in and coach them, bro. He's just not the guy. And I can't pull a name out of the hat right now to put out there, but when you're looking at in the third quarter, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Nets are the Nets, don't get me wrong. But in the third quarter, you surrendering a game?
Yeah.
Third quarter, bro. You're surrendering. You got them sitting on the bench looking around like, looking around. This is the third quarter. And it's like, bro, that's not them. That's your coaching. Because how did that game get that crazy? I think there was, in the third quarter, it's up like 35 more. What the hell's going on, man? And that's a talented squad, bro. Say what you want about the Pelicans. Talented, they're young, but he's not the guy. He's not yelling and screaming, but he's not coaching either. I mean, to me, realistically, he should have been fired last night. I mean, realistically, he should have been fired. I'm just being honest, bro.
I forgot he was the coach because the way he was looking on the court, it was like he was one of the spectators.
Yes, a national televised game like that, and your team is getting, I mean, at third quarter.
Ice, Van Gundy, the Pelicans, Brooklyn. I know Brooklyn is supposed to be that bad team. They're bad mofos, but come on, man.
And when you try to give Van Gundy the benefit of the doubt, I mean, if he does well, kind of like Mick Cronin, UCLA. Anyway, that's another thing. But Van Gundy, I mean, when you try to give him the benefit of the doubt, they have a lot of young talent. This was a great opportunity, or is a great opportunity for him to show what he's capable of as a coach. But I looked at the box score from last night, and the one thing that I saw that really was alarming to me, it just kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. I looked at the box score and I was like, you're young, you got all this talent, these guys can play. And the leading scorer was Eric Bledsoe. I said, you in trouble.
Yeah, that's trouble. Yeah.
Eric Bledsoe at like 27. I'm like, you basically let him shoot. He took the most shots on that team, and he's just coming in. He would never do that in Milwaukee. Never would have done that. But that lets you know that the coach is losing his team, is not have them under control, because either you're afraid to bench Bledsoe, put him in his position where he in his proper place, tell him to calm down and get a ball to the young guys. When I saw that, I was like, no, they're not going to win any games of significance, because Bledsoe's time is coming past, and as a quality player anyway. And for to have all that talent on there, them young guys on there, and you don't make him or say, hey, we need to incorporate other guys in the game, that's why you're losing. That is why you're losing.
The reason why I brought this up is because I watched the Knicks play against Brooklyn twice, and they're fighting. I mean, the game is coming down to the wire, and they don't have as much talent as the Pelicans. But you have their coach who is keeping them in that game to give them a chance or shot to say, okay, we're not there yet, but we're getting close to competing against the best. You're professionals, and so you're going to play as professionals, and you're going to compete every night. Defensively, offensively, you're going to compete. And I've seen them twice come close to beating the Brooklyn Nets. But what I saw last night with the Pelicans, Black, you're absolutely right. That is coaching. That is coaching, because here you got a talented young team. The Knicks have talent, but not as much talent as the Pelicans. And here you have a team fighting against one of the best teams in the NBA. And here you have a team that gives up by the third quarter. And so that is culture and that is coaching. And so I think this year, if you have a few more games like that, pull the plug. I don't know what Boston is waiting for with Stevens. I really don't. I don't understand what they're waiting for. Yeah. They got to do something, because Philly is on top of that division, followed by Brooklyn. Everybody thought the way Boston played a couple of years ago, that Boston would be ruling this particular conference. And they are getting worse. And every time I see them, they get worse and worse and worse. And I can't put my finger on it other than the head coach.
I can put my finger on exactly what I think happened to Boston, bro. Last year, before they got rid of the guy from Butler that's playing now in Charlotte, Brad Stevens kept forcing them on these guys, man, and they knew he wasn't up to snuff. He wasn't playing well. The chemistry wasn't there. But him and Danny Ainge kept pushing this guy. And these players now, you got to admit, man, these are young men. I'm not saying they're emotional, but they may not say things, but they feel certain things. You push them on them, and he's not playing well, and they're playing better without him, and you're calling plays from him he's not making. Bro, they lose respect for you. They lose respect. They don't want to be around you. They don't want to coach. They don't want to play. Boston plays. I watched them play. Their players play well in spurts, and then they just take like parts of the game off because they don't care anymore. They don't care. They got their contract. They don't want to be under him. But these guys are boisterous. They're not going to say it. They're going to show you more than they tell you. They don't want to play with him anymore. And you're right. Danny Ainge is afraid to pull the trigger because for the longest time, Danny Ainge, your boy and partner, pardon me, the guy that you love, who I think is like, looking at Jason from the scary movie on ESPN, Pardon Interruption. They was like, he's such a great coach. He's a great coach. I'm sorry, what has he won? But they deemed him a long time ago. He's been this great coach for the last 3 to 4 years. He has not been. He never was a great coach. And I think the team has basically quietly gave up on him. And you're right. It's time to pull the trigger and get him up out of there.
Yeah. We're going to keep an eye on these coaches coming towards the end of the season and whether they make it through this season or not. I want to go to NFL news. And Ice, what is Carolina thinking by trading draft picks for Sam Darnold, the interception machine?
Well, maybe perhaps their head coach, who is the head coach at Baylor, thinks he can fix Darnold, right? Thinks he can fix him. And he thinks he's young enough where he can fix him and get him to do what he needs to do. Because I'm not sure if that's the case. When you look at that talent, and with McCaffrey and a few other guys over there, you probably don't need a top-notch quarterback. I mean, what I mean by that, you don't need a superstar. You need somebody that can make plays. Maybe he's doing something like that. And then maybe they will go out and pick up somebody else in the competition or to that effect to try to make themselves better. But, they took a chance on it. But I think they may not be done. I don't think they're done. But who knows? Darnold could be a decent backup maybe at some point for that team. Maybe you fix his mechanics. Hell, another team took a chance on Trubisky thinking they can fix him. So who knows?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, stranger things have happened. You never know. Some people are just maybe career backups, and you try to force them in a position that they're not used to, like A receivers. Some guys are not A receivers. They're B receivers. They're hell of B receivers, but they're not top-notch first-string guys or number one guys. So who knows? I just think that for them to do that, I think that the coach feels like he might be able to work with him a little bit. And can we be real? As much as I want to dog Darnold, which I will, you talk about the interception machine. It's kind of like Chicago, bro. Wasn't a lot of folks to be throwing to. Why you think Tom Brady left New England? Well, you ain't got a lot of people to throw to. Can't nobody look good over there. You can put Russell Wilson over there. Hell, you can put Johnny Unitas in his prime back there. You ain't got nobody to throw to. You're not gonna look good. That's just what it is. You gotta at least get a man somebody to throw to. So I mean, from that standpoint, we'll see. I understand people dogged him for it and making that move, but there are a lot of worse quarterbacks, I think, out there than Donald.
Yeah. Going off what I said, Black, about having a game manager for a team, I thought Bridgewater was the game manager for McCaffrey and for offense, but now they're giving him permission to go seek trade somewhere else. What is going on?
To me, that says, well, you just said everything you need to know. You brought Bridgewater in last year as the general manager, the head coach, and thought you could use him. He's owed 20 or 30 million this year. And you're telling him to go shop himself? You signed him about a year ago. you made this decision. So what did you see a year ago that you want to be totally rid of? Now, I don't understand that as a general manager. And the cat says with Donald, not that, I watched the past 3 years, he's played well, he hasn't had it. No, I've always
liked him. Yeah.
Yes. That's how you basically put your team together. I mean, I'm just saying to myself, you gave up 3 draft picks for a quarterback you could have gotten in the 3rd or 5th round this year, bro. You could have found a Sam Darnold in the draft this year in the 4th or the 5th round. You could find one, an interception machine. And there's always people, and the head coach might be saying, I could turn him around, I could fix this. Bro, when you start talking like that, you are in trouble. Let me just say this. Belichick didn't make Brady. Brady made himself Brady. The quarterback that's just retired from New Orleans, I don't even want to say his name. The coach didn't make him, he did it himself. So when these cats start saying, I could change this, I could fix, no, you can't. You can't. That's why the Chicago got rid of that quarterback. He's going to be a backup in Buffalo. He's going to never see the field for the most part. Never see the field in Buffalo. Trust me. Unless it's basically holding him like Tony Romo did, holding him for a punt. He'll never see the field, bro. But they crack me up with their egos when they think they see something. They could do this. They could change that. Bro, you'll find out when you get him there. Because to me, if you're shipping him out, he's your starting quarterback. He's your starting quarterback. Just wait. You think what he did in the Jets was good? Just wait. I can't wait to see it, bro. I'm getting my popcorn ready because it's going to show you. He gave up 3 draft picks for a quarterback you got in a college draft.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. Oh. But in another story recently today, a former NFL player, Philip Adams, suspected of killing 5 and then killing himself in South Carolina. They were reporting, Black, that this guy had many concussions in his career in football. And you just hate to see this. I don't have too many details about this, but just want to throw it out there to see if anybody had any other details or wanted to speak on this.
No, I want to hear more that comes out of this because, I mean, I think the guy, the doctor treated him, but I just want a little more of a backdrop before I really kind of get into it. But yeah, you hear about the story about the concussions, but there's got to be something that tied them two together. Maybe he was the one that wrote off for his career. Who knows what happened? And he didn't feel like he was able to make what he wanted to make based on this doctor's recommendation. But there's something there, man. I mean, then to take his own life, it's like, yeah. To me, that just says he felt like he had nothing else to live for based on what happened between him and this doctor. And I mean, realistically, man, and then to take his family out, I'm dumbfounded, man. I am literally, when I saw that one, I was just like, wow. Yeah. That one just took me to a new level, bro. It just
even the sheriffs were like, we do not understand what happened
here.
Yeah. And that's a bad place to start to try to figure out what happened. Any thoughts to this story?
Yeah, just sad, man. True tragedy in a number of ways. The other people that lost their lives, Also, the factor that if it is connected to CTE, right, or some type of concussion protocol where he just was all over the top, it's just really sad because now you would think that with all of these things that happen on with the great Junior Seau and so many others, was it Sean Gale as well over there?
Yes.
That really how people have taken their own lives based on having pain that they cannot really deal with. You would think that it would be a civic, definitely a civic duty or duty for the NFL to rise up and invest more money, man. Because every week we watch them games and we see them coming out, but nobody, they're like veterans, they're like soldiers, man. Nobody give a damn about them once they're done. You feel me? And
Yeah.
that's real talk in this country. People will come over here to allow you to have your freedoms that you do, and then football to the point where they entertain you. I know that's not on the same level, but the factor that they do all this, and then when they're done, they're just thrown away, and don't have adequate medical care. It's really sad. You can say, well, they had a bunch of money. They should have adequate medical care. Okay. We know how people fall through the cracks, and everybody doesn't invest their money the right way, and things happen. People get broke, especially with this pandemic. But for people not to be able to, and I don't know, I don't want to get too on the soapbox on this, but if somebody is sick and they don't have the opportunity to go to the doctor and get well, there's something wrong with this in this damn country. I'm sorry. I ain't saying you got to take advantage of it, but if you get sick, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get the help that you need.
Yep. And one of the most powerful countries in the world, and one of the most wealthiest countries in the world. That shouldn't even be a second thought. That people could get the care they need. Here we're at the point of Black Thor's favorite time of the year, the Major League Baseball report with Ice Water. Usually Black Thor will have some wings to the side with his favorite topping.
Next week.
Next week. You got to show the wings, bro. The recipe of the
next week, trust me. It will be popping next week. Pop, pop, pop.
Habanero, lemon pepper, whatever. Just bring it, bro. Ice. I watched Otani slap the first pitch out of the park in the opener, and then strike out a bunch of guys, and then had to leave the game because of him going to home plate and kind of getting run over a little bit. I'm glad he's not injured. But that guy, I remember you saying a couple of weeks ago, is the price of admission to watch a pitcher just dominate, and pitchers that are pitching to him very afraid of him to face him. It's a dynamic to watch. But give me your eye test on Major League Baseball this week.
I'm going to start with Otani. I tried to tell you, that dude, man, is amazing. He is must-watch TV. You want to watch baseball, you need to check him out. He's that daggone good. But to start the season off just right for Black Thor, since he wasn't last week, in Columbus, Ohio, we have a team called the Columbus Clippers, and they say, ring your bell. Ringing the bell because the baseball season has started.
Wings!
There you go. Anyway, baseball just started, so we can't really get too much into it. But one thing we have noticed early on is that the team that you love to hate, Houston Astros, are 5-1. People were hating them so much they throwing trash onto the field. Dusty Baker, he deserves better.
They don't forget. They don't.
They deserve better than that. The Angels and Otani are looking pretty good right now, 4-2. Moved to the East in the American League. It looks pretty average right now. Boston started out horribly, and all of a sudden they're in first place. That's crazy. Boston, Baltimore, and the Yankees are just average over there in that division at this point. When you look at the National League, Philadelphia is 5-1. Maybe they can try to keep it up. Washington Nationals are looking average right now. It is very early. But the Cincinnati Reds are 5-1 in the Central. Cincinnati is probably playing too fast. They're playing their best baseball in the first 5-6 games of the season. And it's not going to help them in the end. When you look at it from this standpoint, the Reds scored 25 runs in 24 hours.
Wow.
Spread it out, man. 162 game season. Spread it out. 25 runs in 24 hours. Amazing. Also looking at Atlanta struggling right now, 2-4. Dodgers are 5-2. San Diego 4-3. Also, when you talk about too that they moved the All-Star game from Atlanta because of the situation with the political climate there, moving it to Colorado. I thought that was noble, but I think Major League Baseball felt the pressure because they know people were talking about this and all that has happened, Lord have mercy, in Georgia in regards to politics. I think baseball's like, we don't have none of that. We just gonna get this hell out of here because we don't want nobody to say anything about us. So we're gonna beat y'all to the punch, which is what they did. But long time to go in baseball. We're gonna get some wings too. I think I'm gonna make some wings and bring them on the show as well.
I'm gonna have them next week too.
Black Thor had wings, and I have some wings also too. I talked to my sponsors, my associates. I think I'm gonna try to get Black Thor some of that macaroni and cheese because he overdue. That's what the problem was. If you had the macaroni and cheese, you probably would have won.
2 points.
2 points, baby. I ain't mad at that. 2 points. I know at some point that weekend you were scared, my brother. I know at some point that damn Black Thor.
I mean, I'm human. I was thinking Black Thor coming. I'm human. But then again, I was like Baylor. Hey, I roll with Baylor. I was feeling real good, particularly after that UCLA game. And again, I love Baylor's defense. And I just think, no disrespect to Gonzaga, I think they got tight, baby. They got tight, and they never expect that defense to come at them the way that it did. And I was like, wow. I'm watching the game. I'm like, uh-oh. I was like, oh, Black Thor. I was like, nah, I won't do that.
One of the things that I always put the surround sound on big sporting events like that, and the sound of the ball, the 3-pointers that Baylor were hitting, no rim, just smack. I'm like, wow. And they just kept hitting them like, oh, it was amazing to see. It was amazing. I just kept saying, damn.
The one thing I'll say, too, that nobody's pointing out, when you think about defense, they forced Gonzaga into 14 turnovers. Man.
Yeah, that was it. And they were missing a lot of free throws, which you never see Gonzaga do.
Timmy had 12 points. And my question is, Timmy's a hell of a player. How the hell you shoot 63% from the free throw line? Until you get over 70% from the free throw line, Timmy, and you can't behold people like this, I foul him out every time he got the ball. You need to work on your free throw shooting. So come on back to Gonzaga, man, one more time.
And need to lift some more weights.
Yeah, that too, and work on your mustache. While you're doing that, you can work on your free throw shooting because 63% somewhere like that. How the hell you do that, bro?
Yeah. So you weren't mad at that, Black, but why you mad, son?
I read an article a couple of days ago, man, with the sheriff or the police department where Tiger Woods with his accident. This rascal was going in a 45 doing 85 and crash. They say he put his feet on the brake when he hit was at 75 miles per hour. Well, there's accidents that happen. I was talking to a cat at work, was talking about it in a big room of people. He said, well, there were a bunch of people around that area that got in an accident. I said, yeah, when you go that fast past the speed limit, you're going to get an accident. More than likely, those are statistics. But what bothers me more about this is that the police department said they checked with Tiger to make sure they could release this information. You had to get his consent. They got this consent to release this. Now, I don't know about you two gentlemen, but if I go out here right now on a 25 mile per hour lane and I drive 50 and I crash, I'm going to be in the news tonight, bro. They're not asking for my consent. They're not asking to print this. And guess what else they're going to do to me? They're going to drug test me. They're not going to say, well, Mr. Black Thor, we don't smell nothing on you. Therefore, you go to the hospital, not going to drug test you. And then on top of that, they're not going to stand there and tell me, you didn't get any special treatment, sir. Seriously? Let's just be real, man. Stop the nonsense. Did Tiger Woods give them an autograph when he's in an ambulance? What's going on here, bro? How it take you? With modern technology, it takes you over a month to determine that he was speeding that speed. Let's get real, bro. Let's knock it down. Stop playing. I said it before. That cat was trying to kill himself. He was trying to kill himself. And people were like, well, Tiger Woods wasn't coming back. He wasn't going to be in the Masters. He has no more thinking in his head. He exists outside of golf. He was trying to kill himself. And you can keep painting the picture and act like he's just one happy camper that made a mistake, but you're not helping him. Get real. Deal what we saw. Nobody drives 85 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone, and it's normal, and it's no big deal. And got to get consent so you can tell me that.
I believe there was no citations also.
Huh?
I believe there were no citations against him.
Absolutely none.
Yeah.
The guy said, well, if he would have changed his lane without putting a signal light on, it'd be a little different. Huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna wait to see what comes. I'm really not. I feel bad for him. I feel bad he was in an accident and all that stuff. And I'm not waiting it with bated breath on the story, but the story will come out one day of what really happened, and maybe it'll come out in our lifetimes. I don't know. Ice, why you mad, son?
I'm gonna stay right there because Tiger Woods has been a person that I've talked about in the past, but I'm gonna take a different angle. First of all, is the drug that they talking about is it Ambien? Is that correct? Is that the right word? The right?
There is a drug called Ambien. Yes.
Okay. So anyway, here's what I'm saying. As I looked at it, I'm reading it. I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna agree with Black Thor about him trying to kill himself. I can't call that one. What I do know though is the one thing that I think that they are not recognizing or they're not really pointing out there is the dude has had these surgeries. He's been in major pain. I'm not using that as an excuse at all, but the facts don't lie. And if even they don't tell you everything, you got to pay attention. Because remember, I've often said to you, Puma, everything you need to know sometimes is right in front of you. We choose not to either see it or we don't understand it and we don't catch it. I caught it right here. Today, on this report, as they said he was driving 85 miles an hour when he hit that, whatever that, and he took off in the air. It's Ambien, bro. Straight up. And before when he got hurt, when he was listless in the car, he didn't know where he was at. It's Ambien. Notice the one thing, what they did not mention today, but they did say previous. They talked to him after the accident, right? And they asked him, did he know where he was at? Dude said he don't remember driving. Real talk. He don't remember driving. So you can turn it around. He was doing 85. Dude was asleep. He was whatever, listless, whatever. He was out of his mind. It's Ambien. The man got a drug problem. Man got a drug problem because of his back and all these other things. And two, they didn't say nothing because the essence of the Masters is coming and all that other bull. The Masters around the corner. They don't want to mess that up. So they recognize Lee Elder today. But my point of it is when you look at it from the standpoint that the dude has a drug problem. He wants to get back to who he was before. It's not possible. His damn body is hurting. He have surgery every other year. And the only way he can break it down, Ambien, bro, 85 miles an hour. And then you say, previously, I don't remember driving. Because you was asleep, bro. You was on them drugs, and them drugs, for those that do not handle, period. If you don't, do not mess with drugs, Oxycontin, Ambien, all of these other drugs that we talk about now, people are ODing on. It's not for the meek. It's not for anybody, truthfully. But I'm telling you, when you're in pain, people do a lot of things. They take stuff that is really over the top just to dilute the pain. Some people used to do it with alcohol, but now these pills, man, you think you somewhere else, and people don't. Last but not least, people do not want to be honest of what these drugs do to them and how it really affects them.
All right. I'm gonna do one quick one while I'm mad. Is Deshaun Watson? I guess there are 22 women that are coming forward. I'm trying to figure out when did the brother practice and when did he play games? Because I think there are like about 40 masseuses over or more. When did he have time to do all this stuff? I don't get it. Well, I'm not. That's all I'm gonna talk about with Deshaun Jackson. Still waiting for more information. Black, you got your first question ready?
Yeah, bro. There's always time to get stuff in. You just gotta make time to get that. Like I got time to get 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It's interesting because my son said to me the other day that I'm not sure we hear this at whatever, but I think he might have read it because I thought I might saw a headline too that LeBron made some type of statement that he would like to play with Curry next year. Stefan. So whether that story is true or he said what the case may be, but could you see him in a sense, because he seemed like he's real frustrated, leaving the Warriors in the offseason?
Ice?
Uh, I think there would have to be some other things going on. I don't think so. I think that it's nice. Curry does like LeBron. LeBron likes Curry, but Curry kind of made his stamp in Golden State, right? And I don't think he's the kind of guy that would run over somewhere else to play with somebody else. But it's nice things to talk about, right? Just in case something happened or they piss him off. Who knows? Excuse me. What can happen in between? I think their president is retiring at the end of this year too for Golden State. So who knows? Somebody come in and do something crazy. I'm not going to say it can't happen, but I think he likes where he is because he helped build that program back up. But I might want to have kid gloves on him because you just give him a reason. He was like, and it's still in California too. Deuces. I'm gonna go play with LeBron. We won about 3 championships. And what's the difference? Because he's done. Nobody can ever say nothing to him because he's done greatness. Done had great career so far for Golden State. But nah, not particularly with Clay coming back. I think when Clay comes back and he's healthy, I think they really want to kind of ride off in the sunset together, particularly with the James Wisemans of the world and whoever they come up with. So I think it's just a nice little kind of, when you sit at the house eating barbecue, whatever else you're drinking wine, it's one of those star-studded things you do and you talk about, kind of like a pipe dream. But no, I don't think he would be entertaining into something crazy happens. I think he's good where he's at.
I can't see it at this particular point, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen because he's when you see players who kind of like each other and kind of fond of each other in this day and age in this NBA, it's not about competing. It's about winning a championship together or trying to play on the same team together. So we saw where Kyrie and KD were talking at an All-Star game, and they looking chummy, and then a few moments after that, they're playing on the same team. So, do I think it will happen? No, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did because we live in an Xbox, PlayStation world, and anything can happen. Black?
My first initial reaction would say no, but I'm gonna leave the door open because I look at it like this. I don't think Golden State's going to win a championship again. You could bring back whoever you bring back, whatever. I think their window to win a championship has basically done this. And if he believes that, I don't think he's going to be happy just to be out there be playing and just dropping shots every now and then, getting 40 points. Once you taste that championship, you want to taste another one. And he's tasted a few, and he's done it all. So is he going to spend the rest of his career on a team and a franchise that may never get there? And I think he's going to be so frustrated. He's showing it now, but by the end of the season, especially if they're not playing in the postseason, he's going to start to think a little bit. What am I sticking around for? Why am I here? And I wouldn't be surprised. So that's why I leave the door open, because I think in the offseason, he's going to have some thoughts, bro. He's going to have some thoughts because I don't think Golden State is going to basically get where they were before. I just don't think so. I think they had a period of time where they had a good run. I think that's all said and done, bro. All said and done.
Okay. Ice, what's your question?
I hate to keep this golf theme rolling, but I'm going to do that just because when you think about this standpoint, this weekend is the Masters, right? And the great Tiger Woods is not there because he's injured and trying to get himself together. I haven't watched anything yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it just because, but I noticed by reading some information that some of their best stars are struggling in the first round, right? So my question is, how in the heck is golf going to get people to be interested when their number one guy that they love so much is not around and their other so-called stars are struggling? Who's going to watch and why are they going to watch for any reason at all?
Black?
Here's something that you said earlier, man, that I don't even subscribe to, but I think the karma of golf is going to hit home, bro. And you're right. Golf is going to take a nosedive. When you got the players right now that can't occupy, can't play well, can't basically bring an audience in, that audience is going to start to shrink more and more and more. And to me, when you rally around the word Masters every year.
I don't like that word.
Here it is, bro. It is. It's a price to pay for that. There's a price to pay. And I think that's what's coming to golf. And it's funny because I know you said earlier, Puma, that they got pressure to do MLB what they did. It was a move, I'm sure they did to an extent, but MLB realized that they need to make some changes in the right direction. And that's a right direction move. Because you can say all they want. They want more black people watching than more black players. Golf has not done anything, in my opinion, just my opinion, since Tiger, before Tiger, or anything else, to move themselves in a different direction. And karma and the roosters are coming home to roost. And that's all I see.
Yeah, I don't like that word Masters. I will not be watching it because when Major League Baseball decided to take the All-Star game out of Georgia, the Masters said, it's too late for us to do it, and they made no moves. Of course, they're giving Elders his award and trophy and his just due, which they're probably trying to save face with that. But I thought they could have done the same thing with the some of the voting legislation that's going on in Georgia to send a message to Georgia and the politicians that, you know, we mean business by this. But golf doesn't do that. You'll have the diehards, but I don't intend to watch it. I don't tend to follow it. There's nobody I really look at in golf that I follow anymore. And so I think it's going to take a big hit. But I never liked that title, the Masters. Never liked it because of the history of golf and keeping people of color out of it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And it's amazing is when you think about golf and the history of golf, that how it was an African American man that actually came up with the invention of the golf tee.
Yep.
You don't see that anyway because it was taken away from him and somebody else was able to patent it. But with all that being said, during the so-called success of Tiger Woods' career, that was free money, free everything for golf in regards to new viewers, new types of folks watching, particularly African Americans, people of color, and they didn't have to do anything. It was like a free pass, right? They didn't have to do anything. So it's like, okay, well, we're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna let it roll, and it ran for a long time. But now I think you as I said, you through gambling, you run out of chips. You can no longer sit at the table, and now they're being exposed. They're being exposed because we used to hear all the time about how the next guy is going to be like Tiger Woods. The next, love or hate Tiger Woods, the one thing or any golfer that you may think is great, the one thing about it is they are consistent. And that's what's lacking in golf today. Consistency from people winning, these young guys. And then it shows you how great and how solid the talent of the guys that are great golfers were. Can't just keep making up the next one. It's like saying the next Jordan. Nah, nah. So until somebody does that, they're going to be where they're at, and they're going to struggle. I really believe that. And as you said, they're coming home to roost. Maybe bring Fuzzy Zeller down there. Maybe he can rally up the troops. Anyway, yes, sir, fried chicken and all that shit. Anyway, excuse me. Leave that right there.
Got a question for both of you. What do you think about Najee Harris' statement that Todd McShay to he doesn't care what he thinks, he can kiss his ass. Black.
I like it, man. I like it. It's good. I mean, I'm you know, I'm done with Mel and Tom and Shane, but I like that brass just because this player's play speaks for himself. So I don't know what they said, you know, against him, whatever provoked him to go there, but it is what it is, man. I mean, this cat is out there doing his thing. Whatever, if you ain't with him, you ain't with him. If you're not, you don't like him, kiss his ass. I love it. I love it, man. I mean, he's not a fifth rounder. This cat should be taken in the first round high.
Yes.
In the first round. High. I think Miami might have their eyes on him in a sense. I think quietly, the way they kind of move back up into the first round, yeah, I think they might have their eyes on him, bro.
Yeah, they seem to be going with Tua and staying with him. So, Ice, what are your thoughts about Najee Harris' statement?
Sometimes you just got to say what you need to say, right?
Take it to the street.
Yeah, because I think sometimes the media, certain media members think that they're bigger than, they're the greatest thing they're the greatest gift to sports. But the thing I always looked at it and I always remembered as a media member, I don't play the game. People don't come to see me, right? You can say what you want to. You can criticize somebody. You can say you don't think they're going to be a certain thing. But after a while, when you just keep tearing them down, it gets old. And as a player, you like, okay, that's all well and good, but I'm gonna show you, and you're gonna still want an interview. It kind of, I kind of equate a little bit to what we're hearing in Columbus about Justin Field, right? He's been up and down. First number two, nine, number five, nine number. They don't know what the hell is going on. And
Yeah.
the young man is so easy going and just like he doesn't say a word. But after a while, as an athlete, you like, where'd you play? And they've been wrong before. So if you feel some kind of way and they keep coming at you, plus two, as I get off this thing real quick, thing that really bothers me is as these reporters are following these young men's social media and watching them every time they tweet or every time they doing this and that, watching their social media, like stalking them so they can mess up so they can report it. Come on, man, grow the hell up. Are you that damn desperate to get a damn story? Evidently so. But yeah, I don't have a problem with him saying what he said because after a while, you get tired of people criticizing you.
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes you just have to stop. You're supposed to be a grown man, and then if what you're saying could hurt his stock, I come out and be like, look, oh yeah, I made it. Don't let me make it. And I'll be like, I ain't no longer talking to this motherfucker over here. No interviews. Like you got to talk to him. But like, all right, yep, no, bye, thank you. All right, yep, oh, bye.
I'm gonna say this, man, real quick. I think Justin Fields going to the 49ers, bro.
Think so?
I think they. Oh yeah, that kid from BYU is at the Jets. They want. If you look at Shanahan, he wants a mobile quarterback that he can groom, and Justin Fields is him, baby. They moved up to get him. Garofalo will not. If he plays this year, it won't be the whole year, and he will not be wearing a 49 uniform the following year. He might start this year, but they want Justin Fields, man. The 49ers did not move up to get a receiver. They moved up to get a quarterback. They want Justin Fields, bro. He's coming off the board. No matter all the talk and everything that's going on, that's smoke screen. Write it down. 49ers.
I'm trying to figure out why people fell so out of love with the Heisman Trophy winner, Smith. Okay, he's 170, but he's a hell of a receiver. And a lot of teams need that receiver like that. And they got Waddle in, who didn't play most of last year, but they just fell out of love with the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah. Who won the Heisman Trophy?
Is it Devontae Smith?
Right.
Yeah, from Alabama, the receiver.
Well, his size does play a part, bro. I mean, his size does play a part. And, you look at some of these other receivers that are bigger. You want, for the most part, I always look at receivers as 6'1" and above. You start getting down to shorter and low weight than that, bro. That's, to me, you can get that, not him per se, but that type of receiver, you can find at Appalachian State. You can find him anywhere, 4th, 5th, 6th round. So why are you wasting a first round pick on that? And you may not get him, but you get someone, is capable with that size. You go in the first round receiver, you got to be knocking out the park, bro. Yeah. You got to be knocking it out the park. And he's just not, to them, that size is not doing it.
I don't know. I thought playing at a program like Alabama and doing the things that he did at the top level competition, I mean, what else do you have to prove?
I think part for me is I'm a hands dude, right? I mean, you can be small. You have to put him in the slot, let him do his thing, right? You look at Edelman. Edelman's not the biggest dude in the world. You just have to put him in a place where they can make plays. Now, is he going to be your top stretch guy? He's not Randy Moss. He's not 6'4". He's not, somebody that can move up like that too. But you use him in the slot. And if I was one of those teams, I'd play possum acting if I didn't really want him at all. Use him in the slot. He's going to be able to make plays, particularly if he can catch the ball. He's not, like you said, he's not going to be your number one receiver out there being the bigger guy, but he damn sure can make plays. So I think down the line, he'll be okay where he ends up at. He's going to be hopefully somewhere with a real quarterback and somebody to appreciate him, and he will make plays.
Yeah. All right, Black, last second shot, bro.
Woo, I'm going to, commend and thank basically MLB for making the move that they did, man. Of course, they caught some flack. They came back. I guess that, that's understandable. But never let the backlash stop you from doing what's right. And they didn't do that. And I appreciate that. And I'm going to thank them for that.
All right. Ice?
Yeah, Black Thor kind of stole my thunder, but it's all good. I recognize a man when he understands what the truth is. Talking about Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a real deal. I watched him here in Columbus, transferred from coming from Georgia to Ohio State University, take the number one slot at the program and get things done. Did they win it all? No, they did not, but he's a hell of a quarterback, hell of a talent. And in regards to San Francisco, they did move up for a reason to number three. This lets you know, this again, right in front of you, need to recognize it. Ohio State already had their pro day, right? So San Francisco sent some of their other members to the pro day. The head coach couldn't come, and I think the general manager wasn't able to come because they were down in Alabama watching Mac Jones for his second day pro day. So Ohio State now is going to put together a second pro day. So the powers that be, the real folks that make the decisions, will be in Columbus watching Justin Fields do it one more time. And I think he's right on point because I was telling somebody before, like when the Dallas Cowboys were trying to decide whether or not they're going to pick up Ezekiel Elliott. And, they need defense. They need defense. When I saw the whole staff of the Dallas Cowboy offensive coordinator, everybody was here except for Jerry Jones. I was like, Ezekiel Elliott will be the pick. You don't send the whole squad up here to Columbus, Ohio, when that's not your guy. So I think you're right on point. Justin Fields is dynamic. He's going to grow. They talk about him not really reading the defenses. That's how you coach guys up. That's how you teach him. He's a young guy, mobile as hell, and he can make plays. He is the guy. Shanahan knows it, and he's going to solidify that when he comes back up here. Also, he ran like, what, a 4.40? Not bad for a little wide, little quarterback, not bad. I think the guy's tough. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah. My last second shot is a history lesson, some homework for you all. Major Taylor, who was the first African-American to win a world champion in any sport, won it in cycling, and he was known as the fastest man. Go check him out on YouTube, some documentaries on him. He should be celebrated. I know we talk about other African-Americans on this show, but he was the first world champion in sports. That's our show for tonight. We will come back next week and check us out on Overtime. We have a lot of interesting things we'll talk about on Overtime, whether it's sports related or when Black men talk. When you hear Black Thor's melodious voice just vibrating the ladies' hearts and souls on Sunday nights when we do our podcast. Check you out later. I guess we'll get your speech. Do you want to give a speech now, or you want to lavish in luxury for a little while?
You in charge. I'm just following the
Last time I didn't give you the floor, brother Goon Squad member. So I got it.
Whatever you want to do, you in charge, brother. I'm
gonna give you the floor, man, as the champion of March Madness this year. I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm gonna edit this in. Speech.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to thank my sponsors. Everlast. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all and everybody else. Tough year though, because a lot was going on and didn't know what was going to happen. Very competitive. Black Thor got out there as the only person that picked Gonzaga. Puma and I rolled with Illinois because we thought Illinois was playing the best basketball at the time. And Gonzaga scared the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. I think as a team, they probably were the best team for the year. But the one thing that made me change my mind and why I did not pencil them in is the undefeated season. I kept thinking about that. And I said, yeah, they're good, but can they go all the way? And I'm not going to lie, I was a little frazzled at first, but then I was like, you know what? I saw that Baylor, and Baylor came on at the right time. So, it's like anything else. We do this for competition and for fun. It's really fun because it's really competitive for everybody involved. And I really was a little nervous because Pop had 3 for the Final 4 left. I was like, oh my God, we're in trouble. But overall, you know what? It's good just to be sitting back in the chair again. Captain's chair, we got a little bit of it for football. And we came back in basketball strong. So, great competition. Much love, Blackthorn. You definitely came, bro. You came for it.
Thank you, sir.
You came for it, but then in the end, like I told you, it's about results, baby. At the end, that's what it's calmed down.
Congratulations, man. I'm gonna give it to you because I just wrote Bella off. If I had them going a little further, might have been a different story. Congratulations to you, though. But I tell you, you say you start watching. You've been some good basketball, bro, all around the tournament.
No, I watched the games.
Okay.
I
stopped
looking at the brackets.
Okay, got it. But there was some very good games. When I thought about it after Monday night, man, I think UCLA. I'm not saying we beat Baylor, but they gave Baylor a better game. They would have gave Baylor. Oh yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. UCLA is almost. I'm just not saying a mirror image of Baylor, but their players can move around. They get to the basket. Gonzaga could not stay with Baylor. I spoke the day before that day, and I said I'm scared because Gonzaga just was not going to be able to stay with them. They were basically getting what they want when they want, feasting early, basically feasting early on offensive rebounds. UCLA, bro, kind of could have hung with them. I'm not saying would have beat them, but would have been a blowout. It would not have been a blowout. I think it would have hung, and I got to tip my hat to UCLA, man, because that coach did a hell of a job getting into where they are. I watched them play with Michigan State, and I didn't see them, coming from that point, but from that point on, they started playing, and they just, man, I really believe they could have got there. But Grant Hill says something interesting Monday night, and I'm not saying this and taking it away from Gonzaga, but he kind of felt it was a little sluggish and a little tired from the overtime that they played and the emotional energy.
They act like they won it.
Huh?
When they beat UCLA, it's almost like they act like they won everything.
Yeah.
If I was Baylor, I've been watching like these mofos act like they already won it.
Okay. Yeah. And I think it was tough for them to get it up in that game. And and I'm not trying to critique the coach because you won a lot of games straight. But I don't know why he allowed his team to get down so fast, big, without calling a timeout, bro. They needed a timeout early on to regroup because Baylor was taking it to him. And I kind of figured it would. Those three guards, man, are tough, man. They're tough. But, I think based on where I was not watching, taking a rip in and all I did, coming to second place, and it beat Puma, the Pop, by the number that I beat them.
That's all that matters.
That's all that, really. I mean, Pop can't even show his face in this show, bro. Don't invite him up here anymore. You can't show his face up here.
Actually, me and Ice had to talk Pop into getting into it because Pop was a little, I don't think I should be getting into it, but I'm glad he did. He was on me about giving the scores and all that other stuff, so that's pretty good. I think Baylor spent a lot more time in the weight room than Gonzaga because I was looking at Timmy, looking at some of the big dudes, looking at him like, what are you made of, man? It's like he couldn't move those guys. Those guys were coming, and it's almost like they saw a couple of nights before when Gonzaga was, that's why I text the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, because the same guy who hit the winning shot, Suggs, you see him crying that Monday night. I mean, to be so high and then to be so low, within a matter of 48 hours, it's got to be gut-wrenching at that particular time when you're thinking, okay, this is destiny. We won this game. We must be destined to win the national championship. And Baylor was like, all year, people have been telling us that you're all the best team in the country. We were supposed to play earlier this season, and now we're going to prove who the number one team is. But that's not unlike how national championship goes. If you have a number two team in the country and they play the number one team in the country, more times often they get them. They get them. They play hungry and harder.
Yeah, I think Baylor, they saw a chink in the armor when UCLA played Gonzaga.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, they tried to slow it down. UCLA kind of kept the pace. I mean, you look at the score, it was like in the 90s. But hell, if UCLA did not slow it down, Gonzaga might have scored 120. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's how it was. But they played well. But I think the part, and I was telling my brother this, that when you look at Baylor, I like Baylor's defense. I've always liked their defense. I'm a defense guy. And my brother was saying, well, they shot real well. That's why they won. I said, no. That was a part. But you had to look at, they were in Gonzaga's chest.
Yeah.
Chest to chest. That's how you have to play them. If you leave them guys wide open or you give them a little space, they will kill you because they're a great team. And you look at it from the standpoint of all year long, Gonzaga, if they got down or something when they played Iowa and some other teams, they had enough talent to overcome anything and dominate and get their opponents. But Baylor was like, nah, man, we're going chest to chest. We playing real old school defense. We're going to get physical with you. And to the point where Timmy looked ordinary. The only dude that really, to me, really stepped out was Suggs. Suggs was balling. Suggs was like, I'm ready. Y'all come on with me. And they could not fire it up. But you got to give Baylor's guards a lot of play. They went in and out, moved the ball. Nobody was afraid. And they played that D, man. I was like, damn, is this old Georgetown? I was like, damn, I'm loving this.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me like old Georgetown, old Arkansas.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think Gonzaga really all year had anybody get up in their chest like that.
Yeah. One of my boys, Shine out of Virginia, he said he was gearing up for the game. They had the pregame, sat in front of TV, fell asleep, missed the whole game. So he's like, what happened, man? I said, basically, it was the hood versus the burbs. I mean, that's the way it looked. It was like some hood brothers out there just balling and mauling and beasting on guys from the suburbs. Like, you ain't had it like this. And he was like, dang. So he had to look at the tape again, and hopefully he saw it. But I was like, man, it was like the hood versus the suburbs. Yeah. Those guys were balling and beasting.
I enjoyed Baylor, and I liked your coach. Coach Drew came out and was like, you know what? You guys talked all year about how great Gonzaga was as a team, and he said they were. He said, but you know what? Basically, we got some dogs over here.
Yeah.
I go to war with these dudes. And they was like, yeah, because he said, we waiting, because y'all said before, you know, we waited and everybody thought we had fell off. And you could just tell they were chomping at the bit. And I don't really think, and I still think overall, Gonzaga, hands down, if they played 6 times, Gonzaga probably would beat them. But in that particular, well, I'm just saying, I think overall they will win the series unless Baylor played like that the whole way. I think Gonzaga overall was the best team all year long. But Baylor was like, they had a chip on their shoulder. You can tell they was angry. You look at the way they beat Arkansas, the way they beat Villanova.
Houston quit.
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't want no parts of this.
The way they came at it, you sitting there going like, I was like, man, ain't nobody going to touch Baylor. Then at that point, when I saw UCLA take Gonzaga to overtime, I was like, they in trouble Monday. At that point, I was like, yeah, they in trouble.
I think sometimes matchups is what can undo a team, and I think that's what Gonzaga, their defense is good, don't get me wrong, but they don't get back quick enough to handle Baylor. And Baylor, as soon as they spot something they're looking for you, when you make a little mistake with your defense, they attack you right away. And they didn't have the meat down below to get the offensive boards. And I think Baylor, even if you played them in 6-game series, I'll give Gonzaga maybe 1 win, bro. I just don't think the matchup is there for Baylor again. I think that's what they ran into. They ran into a matchup that they probably haven't seen all year. I think they was a little tired too, and they couldn't overcome it. They tried. They couldn't even hit outside. Gonzaga would drain from outside.
Yeah,
they were clanking off the rim, and that's partly because Baylor was, like you said, was in their jerseys. So when they shot, it was like they were unnerved. I mean, they were nerved. So it's like, yeah, that type of speed, that type of harassment, totally. You ain't used to playing like that. Like you said, playing the birds, man. You play down in the courts. You're used to that type of action. You might lose, but you start to get used to it. But when you play up in the birds where everybody kind of like gives you a space and they ain't looking at you eye to eye when you got the ball.
Everybody's polite.
Yes.
Polite.
And the rest let them play, man. The rest, for the most part, let them play. They did let them play. Why go look up what's his name, Hubert Davis?
Oh, I don't think. Wait a couple of days before you do it, because when I saw it, I'm like, what is this Negro doing? What are you doing? And then I wanted to kind of wait to see, okay, was there something behind it? But I'm like, even if there's something behind it, you keep that to yourself, man. There ain't nobody else's business who you married. People didn't hire you because of who you married.
I'm dumbfounded, bro. I'm dumbfounded. But that's Hubert Davis. It's like, to me, he's a brother that's always been trying to be Mel Kiper. Maybe not in the draft sense, but You know, I look at what's the name a little bit, and I'm happy he's got elected to where he's going, Grant Hill. But
Yeah.
Grant Hill is like, bruh, talk with some blackness. I mean, when he's doing a tournament, can you got any blackness in your Grant?
You know, I ain't got no complaints about Grant. Grant does a hell of a job.
No, he does, bro. But here's the point. Grant watered down his blackness, bro.
Well, you got to think where
Jimmy Jackson does not.
Grant came
Hill
from.
does.
Grant came from, his mom went to Yale. His dad went to what, Harvard?
His dad went to Yale.
Oh, his dad went to Yale, that's right. Yeah. And his mom went to Harvard.
No excuse, bro.
So, I mean,
they were the elite
of the elite. So
running back, bro.
He was a brother from the suburbs, bro.
he just, you know, I think Grant Hill, when Grant Hill played, he didn't water down his blackness, bro. When he played NBA, he did not water down. He was mean, nasty. He was Grant Hill. But I listened to him a little bit now. I'm like, Grant, just be you, bro. But I think he realizes, and he said he's thinking he can't get where he wants to go with that. It's like, bro, just be you. Jimmy Jackson doesn't water it down. You look at homeboy you look at the cat that's every year there. Kellogg. There's no water down, bro. There is none. But I listen to Grant. I'm like, sometimes I gotta turn them off, bro. It's like guys.
I'm good. I'm good with him. I'm good with Grant Hill.
I am too. I got a personal story about Grant Hill. Okay. A few years ago when I was back at the newspaper, I got a call from somebody to do a photography shoot. I was covering NCAA basketball, and the gentleman was Asian and from overseas, and met him at the NBA All-Star game back in the day. He asked me, did I do photo shoots? I said, yeah. So he had somebody he wanted me to meet. So I go to Detroit, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was very secretive. And he said, you just wait in the lobby and I meet the person. I'm like, man, this is kind of a little funny to me. So we go up to the hotel room and he waiting and he goes downstairs, come back up, opens the door. It's the gentleman, I think it's his wife, and then the agent, and here comes Grant Hill. And Grant Hill, it was like a photo shoot for this Asian magazine. He looked around and the man was trying to talk to him, really didn't understand him. Grant Hill looked at me and was like, oh my God, thank God, brother. So I'm not gonna question this blackness, okay? I'm not questioning. He was like,
I'm not either, bro.
I'm not either. But I'm just saying, I'm with you. I'm understanding about the expressing it. But I mean, maybe he's just doing what he got to do to keep it going. I ain't mad at that. You know, sometimes you got to be like that. But he saw me and he was like, "Oh my God!" And then he was just so happy. Hey, how you doing, brother? I said, oh. He even got to a point where the young man, which is really gorgeous young man, beautiful man, to even to invite me, very nice and whatnot, just cordial. Man says to me, he was trying to ask Grant some questions, and the communication got a little garbled. He couldn't really understand him, and I'm listening, trying to listen. And Grant looked at me like, "What'd he say?" And I looked at him. I said, "He wants you to blah blah blah." He said, "Oh." And I was like, after the left, Grant came over me, gave me love, gave me that, gave me a hug. He's like, "Thank you, brother. You need anything else?" I still got the photos. I still share them with you one time with Grant Hill, and it was hilarious when he was with Sprite and everything. But yeah, so Grant is cool. He playing the role. Plus, you're going up to USA basketball. You don't want nothing.
I'm happy for that.
Because that's a major thing taking over for Colangelo.
Yeah.
You can't be out talking about, I'm Paul Pierce, make it rain.
You want him to do a video?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Look, you know what I'm saying?
That's not fair, bro. That's not fair.
Look, when I get down, this is how I get down. You know what I'm saying? I got Hennessy over here. I got white Hennessy, and I got Rayhan Kanye. What they hitting for, dog? You can't do that, man.
Just got a good paying job.
You can't do that. Look. Only Ice Water can do that. You can't do that, man. Let me do that for you. Brent's okay, though. So is Clark.
Let me cool down for a while. What did Deshaun Watson and the Paul Pierce and all that?
Hey, so is Clark. Clark's good people when he's real, along with Jimmy Jackson.
Yeah.
Real talk.
I'm just saying, to me, I'm just pointing. I'm not trying to take away or question his blackness at all. I believe is there. Like I said, I've seen it. It's just when I listen to him, I just want to have a little bit more of it, bro. Just a little bit. And I'm not saying, go over the edge, but it just seemed like he mellows it down to fit in. And I don't know if they're asking him to do that or that's a personal choice. I've noticed it, and I'm just pointing out.
Because when they do the three people in the booth, I think it's a great blend with him and Rafferty because they play off each other a lot, and you can tell they spend a lot of time with each other. And Rafferty likes to, probably drink a little bit, and Grant can't hang with him. The old Irish guy, and they seem to me. I enjoy listening to when they commentate the game. They give some great perspective to the game, and I think Rafferty colors it a lot and animates it a lot, which keeps me in tune and engaged in the game. But I ain't gonna ask Grant to do a video on Instagram Live and all that stuff to prove to me that he down with it. No, just keep that job.
That's right, because you got Rafferty.
Do it, bro.
You got Rafferty already going. Syracuse is playing 2-3 zone with man-to-man tendencies.
Him and Raph smoking weed and drinking with big booties in the background. I couldn't take that. They both be fired. Yes.
I can see it.
You see your man that talking about Raph going like, "What up, though?"
I was reading something earlier, man. I didn't drop it in because it's kind of like a dead horse, but I think it's a sister, if I have to stand. She just filed. She was associate AD at LSU, man. Filed like a $25 million lawsuit. And she claiming that Les Miles said to her on one occasion,
Lord.
there's too many black women working around this campus.
You said what? There's too many.
He said to her, there's too many black women walking around working on this campus.
Wow.
He's done, man.
Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah.
He's done. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I think it's gonna be bad for Deshaun too, man. I think they're gonna avoid that contract. You're gonna lose all that money.
Bro. You know what's interesting? I don't know if you guys saw this about 2 weeks ago. There was a couple NFL players that came out and said they tweeted this and they deleted it real quick. They said one guy said, I got the impression the guy was white. He said, I understand. He said all NFL players hire masseuse, but they hire one and they stick with that one. What was he doing hiring so many women? I mean,
he was like,
it is the question.
He was like the Wilt Chamberlain and masseuse, man. How many you need?
That's what I'm saying.
But maybe that's the way he did it, so he wouldn't be able to keep no record. It was just like he keep bouncing around and nobody really would bring it up. But the one thing I do know, despite all that, we'll see how it plays out, of course. But the Miami Dolphins still watching very closely. They want that dude, man. Hell yeah, they do. I'm telling you, they still watching closely. They watching closely, man. I'm trying to do not be. Here's the thing. It depends on what the NFL rules. They have not said anything. It depends on how far it goes and how bad it is when it all falls out. If it's not too bad, I would not be surprised that the Miami Dolphins are going to go, look, let's get this done. Let's move forward. I'm trying to tell you.
Go ahead, man.
I work with a cat today. His brother is works in the police department in Houston. They looking to get this cat, bro. They're looking over everything, and they're looking at if they can find a way to charge him criminally, and they may not even stick. But if they can come out with that, trust me, NFL. Because right now I think the NFL is going to put him on there. I forgot that list they put you paid, but they don't let you play.
Right.
I think at some point the commissioner's going to step in and do that with him. I think they're going to put him aside just to get him to go away for a little while.
Right.
But if he gets hit with a criminal charge, all bets are off, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is civil now, so it's bad for his character, his reputation. Right. But if they find something hit him with a criminal, bro, he may not be putting on a uniform for a long time. And I don't think Miami at that point stepping up.
Nike suspended their contract with them.
Yeah,
Nike suspended their
contract. Nike did, and then Dre Beats by Dre dropped him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's normal, but man, dude, I'm trying to say the NFL is shady as hell. We know that when it comes to certain things. I want to see because they've done a lot less for people who've done a lot more egregious things. We just have to see. I want to see it play itself out. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think you're right, but I think the current times, with everything that's been going on, it's just a bad timing, man, for him, bro. I yeah, I think and then to me, like I said last week, why you hiring Rusty Harden? I just have no idea why you. I mean, it says to me he doesn't totally understand the magnitude where he is. I don't think he does, bro. And I think in his mind, I'm tempted to believe, he was trying to get the happy ending. Some of them replied, some of them didn't. And I'm not saying that's criminal, but he's got a problem with that. And realistically, it's going to come down to a point. At some point, what are you going to do? Because you do not want to go to a civil lawsuit with these women, each one going through and telling these stories over again, bro. And at some point, you got to decide, am I going to go through that? Or am I going to basically mitigate and kind of walk away from this, act like I'm going to get some help and do something? Because you got to decide something. You don't want all that stuff coming out, bro. You don't want to be able to be read and people can read it. You just don't want it, man. And that's where he stands now, in my opinion. He has to decide one of the two. And I'm going to tell you something, man. If I was him, the woman that helped Kobe Bryant, please, she be my lawyer tomorrow. Fly her in tomorrow, bro. Because realistically, it's dirty. But what she would do is go find dirt on most of these women. I hate to say it. And you see a bunch of them run. It is what it is. And that's how you got to play it.
Depends on how it goes, though. I think part two things he's waiting to see how it plays out and where it goes. But I think two things he's going to have to do if he wants to continue on with his career and at least kind of get out of here. He never's going to get out of this unscathed. Two things he's going to have to do. One, he's probably going to have to settle with a number of people. You got to settle with the people with the worst type situation, kind of like what Tiger Woods did. You got to settle with the people that really you think have a case or something like that. Settle with them. The other thing too, you have to come to the table and go, look, yeah, I got a lot of them. I think I might have a problem. I need help. When you admit it and you say you got therapy and there's no rape involved or no sexual assault, you can live another day. They want you, even with the You Too and Me Too and all that.
Yes.
That's what you got to do because that way they have something. And he says, now I'm a man. I got a problem. I got caught up. I think some of them were with it. Now they saying they not. Whatever. I just know I have a problem. I'm seeking help. I'm seeking redemption.
Beautiful.
Play football, and then I'm gonna donate some money to these women's shelters or these women abusive women programs and whatever. How many millions of dollars it is. That's what you do. And I'm telling you, then it's like, all right, well, we don't really forget this. But he didn't go too far. He went far enough. Everybody happy. It's just gonna go away, and people gonna forget. They might remember a little bit about it, and he can move on. That's what
I agree with that. I totally agree.
Yes, sir.
You got to do something. Sitting around being quiet and hiring, you do not want to go to civil trial with this, bro. That's the last thing you want to do, man. That's the last thing you want to do.
I was talking to an attorney friend of mine, and he was like, at first he was like, nah, I don't think this is going to be too serious. But I was talking to him last week, and he said, man, I'm actually afraid for Watson right now.
Yeah.
He's actually afraid. He said, because he has access to documents that are filed in court that we don't get access to because he's an attorney. And he can look over him. He said, I'm actually afraid for this young man right now.
Yeah. That's what I say. If they find a way to link it to criminal, bro, I don't think they will. That's my first intuition based on, what we know. But if they can and he gets arrested.
Yeah. I think the thing is that no reports have been filed.
Not yet.
Well, nobody's looked at him criminally, but they're going to go through everything that, your lawyer friend saw and see what's a criminal that basically happened. Now, I don't think it has. I don't think he's done anything to where he crossed the line based on the lawyer, what they were saying. I don't think he has. But I will admit, one of the ladies that's talking now saying what she felt afterwards, and if it's true, she has a right to feel that. I'm not going to knock her, man, because that's something that, you know, if that's not what she's into, and you gotta know who your players are, bro. Come on, man. You gotta, you know what I mean? It's just like, how you not know who your players are? So you can't go force something on somebody that's not their game, baby. So I just don't mean, you know, maybe he grew up in the herbs and you don't understand this, whatever the case may be, as you say. But I agree with Ice, man. He has to start to mitigate some of this, take some ownership, and basically own it to an extent and get some help. They love, you know, Americans love to hear that redemption and move on. Maybe you can pull yourself out for a year, do that, and then come back because right now, him sitting quiet and just hiring Rusty and letting the shoe keep dropping, it ain't dropping in your favor, boss. Right. Just to say, I've never treated women unfair, bro, that ain't cutting it. That's not cutting it, man. You got to go deeper.
Looking bad.
Looking
bad.
Yeah, you got to go deeper than that, bro. I've never treated bro. You got to go. They just didn't. I mean, you don't find 21 women basically saying, for the most part, you expose yourself to them when they didn't want you to expose yourself to them. That right there, just saying, like the guy said, you hire one, and that's your one you use. You got 23 that you hired, bro. That right there tells me something about your mentality.
Hey, the boy got a problem. He got a little.
Yes, sir.
Freak is
yes,
coming
sir.
Out, that freak is coming out. I tried to tell y'all about it. It's coming out.
Yeah, I mean that's what it says, man.
Real talk.
23.
Hey,
no, it's like 40 of them. I guess some of them are speaking on his behalf.
Yes,
yeah.
That's a lot of hiring, bro.
Hey,
when did you find
that's a lot of hiring?
When did you find the time?
It's about masking it, man. You know how that is. You masking. You got, hey, all right, who'd you use? All right, what she like? Oh, she cool. I got you, bet.
I don't understand this thing about this guy. Even when Kraft was down there, money will get you some of the.
do not. That Kraft, man. Let's be real, bro. I think he bought his associate the mall. He just bought the mall and said, "I'm gonna put it in your name."
All that went away. It would just disappear like it never happened.
It's not funny. It's funny from the standpoint of how people are lost, and they get lost on the fact that how, as Blackthorn mentioned, how much money matters in these scenarios.
Yes.
That man was guilty as hell, allegedly.
They have videotape.
They had him on tape, and he walked away, and the women got convicted. It's like, damn, dog. He like, I'm gonna buy the mall, and I'm gonna put it in your name. And whenever I need to come down there, I'm gonna need to get to Tom Brady, the number 12.
And here's the same thing, bro. If you don't think that's playing out with Tiger Woods right now,
oh man,
whatever he's on, I'm being honest. It's the same thing happening again. It's all over, bro. 45 miles over the speed limit.
I told you.
You wouldn't have a license. No more. You wouldn't have a license. They would bring it to court and shred it right in front of them.
They got his doctors on point. They done talk to somebody. He's on that Ambien, bro. He's on that Ambien. You know, you just got to forgive Tiger.
Painkillers or opium or something.
Yeah, I'm telling you, opioids, man, for real. On them opioids, bro. And you know, and people think because who he is that he can handle it. One thing about drugs, bro, and alcohol, it don't give a damn who you are. It will come and get you. If you weak and you can't handle it, it will come get you. A lot of people like, well, he's such I don't give a damn. When that thing call your name, baby boy, then you in trouble. Oh my God. Oh well.
Yeah, this cat in North Carolina, I think North or South Carolina, the shooting. That one right there, bro. That one is like, it's got to be something with that doctor. It's got to be a link to him, NFL. Something's going on there, bro. Right. Because that right there is just like, I mean, I don't know. Family too, damn, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he took out 5 people in himself.
Yeah, that's sad, man. That hurts my heart because he probably at some point, I don't know, but it sounds as if at some point he probably was crying out. Nobody recognized him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what hurts my heart. You know, I had a situation with somebody in my family that dealt with PTSD, right? And you know, having all kind of night tremors and stuff like that too. But you got to reach out. You got to be strong enough and you got to care enough to not be afraid to address it and get people help. Seriously, because that shit, seriously, excuse my language, but it will kill people. It will affect other people, and we got to just quit, you know, hiding and running from things like it's not my problem. If you love somebody, it is your problem. You got to help them if you can.
Hey man, we're gonna talk about your big trust thing, man, on Sunday, bro. We're gonna talk about trust. We're gonna talk about what is it about strip clubs, bro? Because brothers are losing have lost their mind in terms of strip clubs.
To me, it got into a phase in strip clubs, and it was like, okay, this is old now, you know.
Bro, but
Why
I've never been one to spend a lot of money at strip club. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know, but it's like
paying for a fantasy,
huh?
Paying for a fantasy, and I never liked
That's it. I don't get it. It's like, bro, I mean, you want
to take you home. I mean, you're not gonna be my girlfriend. You dancing for him and me, and no.
I'm gonna say this. I haven't been to strip club in years, right? But I'm gonna say this. When that was my thing, where I was real young enough to whatever I was doing, I'm gonna say this. Depends on the strip club, right? Depends on the strip club, Puma, because I would guarantee you. I take you to certain ones back in the day. You were like, this is a fantasy and all, but you be like, throwing them dollars up. I promise you. You be throwing them up, baby.
I've known cats to get paid on Friday and be broke by Saturday going to strip.
I have a buddy who went to a conference in Miami. And there's a club in Miami. I used to have them on Facebook. There's a club in Miami. It's open 24 hours a day.
Yes, I've been there.
He said he went in. He said he's just gonna go for a little while. The night before his flight was gonna leave, he said he stayed there till about maybe an hour before his flight was gonna leave, and he was contemplating either taking a later flight the next day to stay or to move to Miami altogether. I said, bruh, it was that tight. He was like, man, I was sitting there contemplating that hour, and he finally just left with the same clothes he went in with the day before, got his bags, and got on the plane. It was like he was being haunted. I've
been to that spot. I went in the afternoon to that spot. The Saturday afternoon, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Not to me going in, I had a game plan. You gotta go with a game plan, man.
You gotta have a game.
You got to. You got to. I'm only going to 45 minutes, hour tops. I went in.
Did you drink?
I'm here to tell you.
Did you drink?
You go in and they're all around you.
Yeah.
They just walk there. It's forget that stage action. No, bro. They're just.
Were you drinking?
Were you drinking?
Oh yeah, I went in. I asked for a rum and coke. They gave me a big red cup. And I'm telling you, I don't know what rum they put in there, but within 5 minutes, I was feeling it. And they were all around. You go sit at the table, they on.
Hey.
I looked at my watch. I had a ride coming to get me. Ride came back. How was it? It was damn good. Let's go.
Everybody knows Miami, Atlanta,
yes,
and the DC area, baby.
Ooh. It's like you can
God
have to keep it up here, man. It's a fantasy.
But you said 45 minutes. I'm talking about back in the day. I was about 2 hours.
Well, if you guys ever get to travel, I hope we get to travel together to experience this together. We're going into Hamburg, Germany, to the Reeperbahn, where you can get into any and everything, and the clubs and the women in the window, in Amsterdam. Oh my God. Because I think that really spoiled me for strip clubs here. Sure. Because when I went to go visit my brother for the first time in Hamburg and saw how they got down, I got back here like, I ain't giving y'all no money. Y'all ain't doing nothing special here. No. Let me dance and you give me money because I'm not giving you money I went to where the pros do it. No, y'all can't. Y'all gotta come better than this. And that was the attitude I had. And it kind of broke me away from going to strip club. I can't remember the last time I went to a strip club here.
I had the same experience in DC, bro.
No,
that's back when you had the Howard students dance.
Mhm.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, woo! I was like, yeah. So anything else? I've been to Las Vegas, tried to see that. I was like, nah, man, I need my money back because I don't see nothing. I almost got to a fight because the guy, I was like, you want me to buy 3 drinks and I ain't seen nobody? Oh, I see somebody here and she's looking like they all had bullet holes in there. And I'm like, hell no. Nah. Hell no. Nah. You got to give me my money back. I'm telling you, once you have that experience, everything else is on the lower tier.
Yeah.
I don't even mess with it no more because I know I can't. It's kind of like getting high for the first time on something that you can never get high like that again. And you realize that, ain't no use of messing with it no more.
Yeah.
Ain't no use of messing. You never get it again, man. You never.
You gave me a game plan. 45 minutes, get out of there.
You got to, bro.
I did too. Mine lasts 2 hours, so I ain't gonna lie.
Go in there. I told my rod, be back here at such and such time. I'm coming out the door. I came out there, I was feeling good, bro. A little wobbly, but I'm telling you, man.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story, real quick. I'm gonna get off this. You got to cut this out. No, you don't have to. Anyway, remember going to a strip club and a relative was getting married. He was having a bachelor party, right? So we go to the club and the people I'm with, everybody's all over the people, the young ladies or whatever. I'm sitting back, just kind of chilling, relaxing, partaking a little bit. But I'm real cool, and they're all up on them trying to find somebody that would dance at the bachelor party, right? And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this happens. If he doesn't include this, it does happen. I know you might think it's a little beneath us, but I'm gonna keep it real. Anyway, so they're looking for somebody to dance, and they try real hard. And everybody said they don't do that. They don't do that because it's too dangerous. It makes sense because they don't know the people. Anyway, they asked one young lady, and she was gorgeous, and they said no. And I sat back, I saw her, and we kind of connected or whatever, just kind of saw her, eye connection or whatever. And they asked her, and she says, no, I'm not doing it. I don't do that. It's scary or whatever. It's dangerous. She said, but she pointed to me. If he asked me, I do it. And they go, ah! So she comes over and we have a conversation. She did it. She came to the party. We went picked up and everything. Beautiful person, everything. We had a great talk. They're like, are you her manager or something else? I was like, I'm just making sure she's safe, baby. That's all it is. And they're like, how did you do that? I was like, I can't tell you that secret. I'm gonna leave that right there. When she came to the party, she got her the money, danced, and everybody was safe, got her back home safely. They still to this day ask me how I did that. I was like, can't tell you my secret.
They used to do that in Chicago where they would have these women who would, you can hire them to come to the house and they would come with a bodyguard. So he's standing in the corner and they'll bring like 4 or 5 women. And one of my boys, not my boy, but my boy's boy, he was doing a bachelor party a week before the wedding. And I'm like, why are you doing it a week before the wedding? He's like, you'll see. I can't even describe what they did to this man. They put him in a chair in the middle of the room. But when he was finished, he was crawled up in a ball in his underwear. And they had to talk him into getting married the next weekend. That's why he said it. Because one would come down the stairs, they would do their thing, go back up the stairs. They broke a few chairs on him that he still hadn't explained to his wife how those chairs got broken. He put it in the basement. And then one would go up, they'd come down, and there was a big old dude in the corner. And he's sitting there, just a bodyguard, just making sure everything goes smoothly. And it was like 5 of them. It was like, remember the movie 3 the Hard Way?
Yeah.
Where they got the white guy and they just turned him out. That's what it looked like. And we were sitting there like, oh, wishing we would get married next week. They had the experience he was having. He was curled up. And my boy was like, I had to talk him for 3 or 4 days straight. You can't back out this marriage. That was only a fantasy. That was bachelor night. That ain't gonna never happen again. We ain't paying for that again. Let that go. That was, your wild oats. You got to get married. That's a good woman. You get ready to marry. Well, they turned him out, and I was like, I can't even describe some of the stuff that we saw. They were doing that dude.
It ain't for everybody, man.
It ain't for everybody.
No, it isn't.
It's like anything else. You got to know your limits. It's not for you. You got to leave that alone, bro. It's not for everybody.
5 minutes. I'm in. I'm out.
I got 2 hours. I'm good. Then I got to get out of
there. Game plan.
You got to, bro. You can't go in there. You know, you may want to leave your wallet in the car. Just bring a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to set up parameters so you can just.
One of my boys, his brother, spent. They were supposed to go because my boy was getting married in Miami, and I went down there. And the kids were really little, and I was married at the time, so I didn't get to go out with them. But they went to the club, and his brother just lost his mind. And so I guess he had money for Disneyland or Disney. And so he said he knew something was up when he heard way across the room, "Fuck Disneyland, you can take all my money." He ran over there to get. He said earlier, "Get your boy." He had to go get his boy. You gonna spend all that Disneyland money? He's like, "Fuck Disneyland, you can take all my money."
Like I said, you gotta have somebody there like a wingman, brother, kind of bring you in.
Hey, like I told you, when I was hanging out with the NFL players up in DC, and they broke curfew. And they came out the spot looking like they didn't know what the hell was going on. And then they were trying to catch a cab or catch the bus or catch anything going out of DC. And I was walking out with more of my folks, and they were just standing there looking. And I said, "What are y'all doing?" They go, "Well, man, we trying to catch a cab." I said, "Dude, this is DC. You ain't never run out to no 2:30 in the morning." I said, "Y'all need a ride?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, cool," because we had 2 cars. I said to my folks, "Can we take them back to their hotel?" They said, "Cool." So we started driving. "Where y'all going?" "Take them back to the hotel, whatnot." And then they go, "Well, where y'all going?" I said, "We take y'all back to the hotel." I said, "We're going to the other extra spot." They're like, "For real? Can we roll?" I was like, "Man, y'all got to go back to the hotel." He's like, "Nah." So we went back. It's about 4:30 in the morning. They got a game the next day. We go back into the hotel, to the lobby, and making sure they could get in so they wouldn't get caught. And the man said, hit me up, man. I got tickets for your people." And then we went to the game and everything. Dude was like, when I saw them again, when I was covering this team, went down there and saw them the following week, they saw me walking in the locker room, and all they do is just start laughing. They're like, "Man, that's crazy as hell." You know, that's big, but some men are gonna be men, no matter how much money you are or whatever. People are susceptible to things like that. But we don't recommend that for everybody.
Oh man, I knew after Illinois was done, I was done. I was like,
"Bro, yeah." Woo, Illinois fooled a lot of us, man. They fooled a lot of us. Because even if they didn't get to the Final Four, I thought they was gonna go a little further than that. Like I said, man, I think there's a bunch of teams out there that, you know, we don't get a chance to kind of. I really didn't watch much, but who knew Oral Roberts was capable?
Nobody watched Oral Roberts.
Yeah, and they had the highest scorer, and the guy the team. Who knew?
Because they weren't really playing anybody, and so if you ain't playing anybody, you're not gonna watch the games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so he's the highest scorer in a league that only one team gets in. So
yeah,
but nobody.
They were good. I kind of hated that they lost when they did. I wanted to see them go a little further. Actually, once they got past Ohio State.
I think they did as much as they could.
Yeah.
Got past Ohio State, got past Florida. Yeah, they did.
That shot almost went down though.
Yeah.
That shot almost. Yeah, that shot could have went down. I'll say this now, and I'll say it on the show, man. You've been saying this for years, bro. After watching the tournament and watching the Final Four Sunday, I'm on my phone, and I turn on the Clippers. It might have been the Clippers and the Lakers. I don't know. It could have been the Clippers and anybody. I'm looking at them running down the court, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I'm like, these cats are making millions, throwing up bricks, nobody going to the rim, nobody backdooring, cutting, nobody moving. I'm looking, going, the NBA is a joke, bro. is the most unpolished professional sport out there at the moment, in my opinion.